easy, budget-friendly fall DIYs that you can use in a tiered tray or even on a shelf, then stay tuned because this is a video that you will not want to miss. Hey guys, my name is Emily and welcome to my DIY channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing some really fun, fast, easy fall DIYs on a super easy budget. So let's quit chatting and let's get right into the video.
All right, so these are the projects that we will be making for this video. You can see that they're all small and perfectly sized for like a tiered tray, but they also could go on a shelf. And I'm going to show you guys how we make these. Super easy. This is a little wood round that I got from the Dollar Tree. I actually stained it a while ago for something else and then never used it. So I cut this out on my Cricut. Here in just a minute, I'm going to show you the inspiration photo of what I got this from. And I designed this from what I saw. So this is just my, I just used my Cricut and found all of this on the design space. So here was this cute little sign. There's always something to be thankful for with the scalloped edges and the dots in the scallops. The only thing I didn't do was the wheat, which I'm actually wishing that I would have done that now, but I do still really like how this turns out. So I just found a cute scalloped pattern and then I just put the words in with the two different fonts that I liked and contrasted them. And then I just put this onto the wood sign. I'm also using the Mod Podge technique that I started using with my last video that I learned from Whiskey and Wit. I know several DIYers do this, but this has been a game changer, so I highly recommend this if this is something that you guys do for stenciling. Mod Podge it first. I had no idea, but it works amazing. Once that was done, I went ahead and you can see that I didn't want this to have full coverage. I was okay with it that it was kind of partially covered for the rustic look of it, but I went ahead and once I stenciled that on, then I peeled off all of the vinyl and revealed this cute little sign. I actually didn't even put a hanger back on it because I think I'm just going to set it up on one of my shelves, and I really liked how this one turned out. So this one cost me, my goodness, $1.25 because of the wood round, because I already had the vinyl and the paint. And so again, very cheap, easy, affordable, budget-friendly DIY. So this is some scrap wood that I had, but you can pick these up from Home Depot. This is just I believe this is a 2x4 actually, and I think I just cut this down. You guys, I want to show you that one piece of scrapbook paper, especially, I mean, depending on what kind you get, but one piece of scrapbook paper could do so many things for you. The bulk of this video is done with this single piece of scrapbook paper right here. I got this from a company in Utah called The Wood Connection. I'll have them linked down below for you guys if you're interested, but I went ahead and I love the size of these cute little pictures. So I cut my wood down to fit these. You can get these from Home Depot if you want. These is in the wood from Home Depot, and then you can cut it down to size or have them cut it for you. But it was a 2-inch by 2-inch square. And so I wanted to do all 6 of those from the scrapbook sheet. So I went ahead and I did 3 of these little blocks orange with Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin. And then here in a minute, you'll see that the other 3 I do with stain, and it is in the color Jacobian by Midwax. Whenever I stain, I have gotten into the habit of wiping off the excess stain with a paper towel, and I really like that. I like how it looks. It dries a lot better and a little faster as well. So now I'm just kind of picking and choosing which ones I want to go on the orange blocks versus which ones I want to go on the stained. And I like to adhere my paper with either a glue stick, which I love. I've actually converted to a glue stick, or I like wood glue. I don't use Mod Podge to adhere it because it's just, for whatever reason, it just is a little too wet and it seems to wrinkle my paper. But I found way better luck with wood glue and even a glue stick. They hold really well. If I do use wood glue, I really try to make sure that I use my squeegee to scrape it on basically and push out any of the air bubbles. And this really seems to make a difference in how it looks as well. Okay, this part is essential. If you guys ever put paper onto wood, be sure to sand your edges because it really makes it look like the piece of paper was built into the wood. It's amazing. So this is the completed project for these little guys. I love how these turned out, and these will accent any tiered tray. You can see that they're just so versatile and they're so easy to do. I had the scrap wood, I had the paper. I mean, essentially this project was free for me to make it, but it's going to be very inexpensive. Using these cute little pumpkin plaques that you can get from the Dollar Tree, I actually had a ton of these left over from last year. Here we are using the scrapbook paper again. I just wanted to use it as is, and so I went ahead and, as I say as is, I mean that I wanted to put just the piece of paper right onto the pumpkin plaque as is. And so I cut it down to size after tracing it so that it of course would fit. And then we're going to do the same technique. And I'm actually going to show you 3 different ideas of how to use these cute little pumpkins because they're the perfect size for tiered tray. They're also a little bit taller too, so they go really well on shelves. Again, using the technique to just kind of smooth this on, getting rid of all of the air bubbles. Oh, I didn't show you that I sanded it, but I believe on the other one I show you that I sanded it. I also just took the raffia that was already on there and then some baker's twine and tied a little bow and put that back on to complete this project. So here's another one of those using that exact same sheet of scrapbook paper. I love how this one turns out because the words just seem to be designed to fit this space. Okay guys, I'm sorry. I'm really lazy sometimes when it comes to taking those stickers off from the Dollar Tree just because they don't come off well for me. I don't have my heat gun out and ready to go. I know they'll probably come right off with the heat gun and I need to quit being lazy and just get my heat gun, but I did not. So I went ahead and I glued this down, let this dry, sanded the edges really good, and I even sanded the sides because I liked that it was that brighter orange color. And then this raffia bow I mixed with some jute twine and then just glued this back on. And so don't the words just look like they were meant to be the size of this pumpkin? I love this one. I love how this turned out. And then for this one, this is just a little bit of a different idea because the scrapbook paper is really fun and I totally recommend it. But now to do an accent, you can use these little pumpkins for to personalize them. So here you can see that I have a photograph. This is a family photo that we did last Thanksgiving. And again, using the same thing, I just went ahead and traced it on so that we could have this size and then cut it out. And then of course we're going to be gluing it on. Same thing, I'm using the wood glue because I want it to be, I don't want it to wrinkle any of my paper or photos. I do like to use a thin layer, so you can see here that I'm wiping a lot of that off because it doesn't take a lot. Just want it to be really good coverage, and then putting it on really thin. Right here, I'm not using my scraper because I don't want to damage the material of the photo, and so I like to just use a cloth or my sleeve to push this down. And then again, the same technique of sanding the edges because this just kind of makes it look really cohesive. Plus it gives it some distressing as well. And so I like doing the sanding on all of it. I even sanded the cute little brown stem for some distressing. And then the raffia again, I love using it. And so this one, to make it just look even just a little bit more, I guess a little bit different than the other two, I tied a bow by itself with just the raffia, trimmed the edges down just a little bit, and then using some ribbon from the Dollar Tree, I just tied this around the top underneath before I glued the bow onto the stem. And then that's it for this little guy. I love that this adds a personal touch because the fall decor is really fun. You could technically use this year round besides the fact that, I mean, it's a pumpkin, so I guess maybe not technically, but you could use this throughout Thanksgiving as well. And so I like them together because it gives your cute fall sayings, but then you've got a personal touch with it as well. Okay, I found this guy at the Target Bullseye Playground, Dollar Spot, whatever it is. And I thought it was so cute because it was the tiniest little cutting board ever. And so I, of course, had to cover it up. And this is a different sheet of scrapbook paper. I used this last year. I'm a big fan, if you can't tell, of using the scrapbook paper because the design just is built and ready for you. So again, same technique we've used the whole theme of this video for... we traced, cut, glued, and sanded. And then just to add a tad bit of embellishment, I just used some baker's twine and I just made the cutest little simple bow. This is so simple, but I love what it adds to all of this decor in general, but it also just looks so cute on a riser, on a tiered tray. It says gratitude turns what we have into enough. And that could not be a truer statement. So for this last DIY, I'm using some scrap wood. This is the inspiration from a cute little local store that I shop at here. It's called White Sparrow. It's this cute country store. I'm a little obsessed, and I loved that the plaque purposely had the distressed part of the wood on the bottom, and so I wanted that detail, and I wanted to make one of my own right here. So I went ahead and sized it out, and then of course used my ruler to trace it. And then I don't show this, but I did use my chop saw to cut this out. And then this is just a little metal tool that I have right here that I use to kind of distress the edges because I wanted it to look really, really rustic. So this is some pine, so it's really soft wood. It's easy to distress. So I'm just kind of pushing into it, making some marks and dragging it down and just distressing it. Once I had it cut out into that shape of a house, I went ahead and I just drilled a large hole into it because I wanted it to fit jute twine, so I need it to be decent sized. And then we are staining it in the color Jacobian by Minwax. And right here, actually, I thought that I'm thinking that my battery probably died because I have beads from the Dollar Tree and I stained the entire package, but I don't have any footage of that. So I'm just gonna have to tell you what I did. You'll see it here soon, but I went ahead and I stained all of the beads as well and let them dry, and then I strung them on because the inspiration picture is on a little bead strand with a tassel, and I make a tassel too with jute twine, and again I don't have that either. So I think I just was going to town doing my DIYs. I was probably singing at the top of my lungs, not paying attention, and didn't even realize that my battery died. I do that a lot. Right here you can see that distressed part of the bottom of the wood, and when I say distressed, I just mean it's not sanded or cut off, and I love the detail that added to this. I would never think to leave that in place, and now I want to make several more of these that have that exact detail in place. And then just using my Cricut, I went in and I found these cute garland type greenery, and then just found a font that said, it's just a cute font. I typed out the word together so that it matched the inspiration photo, and then just transferred this on with some black vinyl, and then to make sure that it stuck down because it didn't want to stick for me super well because I don't think I let the stain dry all the way. I get a little impatient and ready to move on. And so I had to work with this. But if you take your time, even with difficult projects like this, it will work out that the vinyl will stay on for you. Just in case though, I wanted that extra security to, if it didn't stick, I wanted that extra security. That's the word I want. And I ended up painting over it with some Mod Podge, so that it was sealed in place and did not come out. And it also gave the wood a really good look. And then it was just a matter of tying on my jute twine to my home, this little home sign that says together, and then the tassel at the other end. And this project was done, you guys. And this is what it looks like all dry. And I love this, you guys. I am using this in my fall decor, but I love that I can use this year round. This will go in any tiered tray. This will go with any type of decor. It goes with my lemon decor. It'll go with my Christmas decor. It'll go with fall. I'm really excited to use this throughout the year. And I think that this turned out so cute. I'm so grateful for the inspiration. I wish I could link the store. It's just a local store. It's one of a kind. And it is so cute. But a big shout out to the White Sparrow Country Store for having such cute stuff to give me inspiration. And that is it for this video, you guys. These projects were all very inexpensive. Each project was under, gosh, $5, not even, I mean, maybe even like under $3 to make each one of these. And this is going to be so cute. I know that I said that these are 4 tiered trays and I didn't even put them in a tiered tray, but any of this will go into a tiered tray or on a shelf display just like this.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for those who are still here at the end. For those of you who don't know what this is my little end segment where we just share something inspirational at the end of the video. Something that I've learned that I just can't help to pass on and share with you guys because I am a firm believer in trying to become the best version of myself. The video that I have for you guys today is super sentimental. I'm telling you, get ready because it's gonna tug at your heartstrings. It is the cutest video, but it has such a powerful message. And it's a video about a boy who's going to school and every day he shows up for school late. And every time he walks in, the teacher holds out his hand and the little boy puts his hand in the teacher's hand and then the teacher swats his hand. I'm sure this is probably from like a different time frame, maybe, or even a different culture. I'm not really sure because I don't know if that would be allowed. But go with me because the video is darling, okay? Little boy, late for school every day, walks in, puts his hand in the teacher's hand, and then the teacher swats his hand with like a ruler. So the teacher, it implies, there's not talking in the video, but it implies that the teacher is getting frustrated because every day this little boy gets this punishment, but he's still commits the crime, so to speak. Later, it shows the teacher on his morning commute to work. He rides his bike and he's on his way to work. And as he's on his way to work, he happens to notice this little boy, the one that's always late, pushing a wheelchair of an elderly lady down this alleyway, and he takes her into this place that I assume is where she goes and stays for the day, and he goes and drops her off. And then he just comes running out of there and he runs as fast as he can to get to school. And the teacher realizes that that's the reason why he's late for school every single day. And this teacher has been swatting his hand basically for this little boy who's late because he's performing service for who's most likely his grandma, and he's dropping her off every day so that she is safe and well taken care of. The teacher just happens to get to school before the boy still, and the little boy walks up and just automatically kind of hangs his head, holds his hand out. And when the boy holds his hand out, the teacher, instead of holding it for a ruler, he grasps his hand and then he gets down and kneels down and basically just hugs the little boy. And I think he cries, I believe he cries, but he just feels so bad because he didn't realize that that was the reason why this little boy was late. So it's just a beautiful story about compassion. And what I love about it is that not everything is as it seems. And that doesn't mean that every single time you have somebody who's late, that's gonna be the reason why they're late. The point that I took away from it was to give the benefit of the doubt. Everybody has a story, everybody has a reason, everybody has a deeper why. And I think that if we just take the time to try to understand the deeper why, it might give us more love and compassion for others. And in turn, then we will also become better ourselves. And again, like I said, that's what the whole point of my end segment is to just, for me to try to become the best version of myself. Take everything that is good in you and add to it. change doesn't have to be bad. Change could be a great thing. So this end segment is meant to just help you guys become something more. It's an invitation to change. It's an invitation to become something more. Those of you who accept it, I'm so excited for you because you're on your way to something so great. When you accept the challenge to try to change to be something better or be something more, it's life-changing, literally. Pun intended, no pun intended. It's amazing. And you guys, I truly believe that if you give it a chance, you guys will see results in your own lives as well. Please don't think that because I think change is such a good thing, it means that you are a bad person right where you are. Again, go back to that phrase. Take everything that is good in you and just add to it. It doesn't mean that you have to start off bad, but why not try to become the best version of ourselves? You guys, that video is linked down below for you. Go ahead and watch it, check it out. It's not very long. In fact, get a tissue because it's a little bit heartwarming. So sweet. Thank you guys so much for watching, for being here, for your comments, for your support. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Please leave me another comment down below if you'd like, of any of this that was your favorite, or anything about the end segment and what you liked about it, what you've learned, what you guys can teach me, and how you guys can help me to become better. If you guys would like to stick around, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up because it really does help us and our channels. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.